What's up, guys? It's Addy here, back with another video, and I feel like it's been a while since I made a gaming video. Not that these are that much about gaming, and more about the NBA. And I'm super excited to talk about what I'm going to talk about today, but there are some serious things I also want to talk about. So yeah, let's get right into it. I want to start off by thanking you guys. We hit 2,000. This is a huge deal for me. And I've been part of YouTube for like 2 years, but I really got into it like a year ago ish. Even though I used to post 2 years ago, I really got serious about it about a year ago, and we've hit 2K in about a year. So thanks so much, guys, for all the help, all the support, everything you guys have done. Hit that subscribe button, and you've liked my videos. It's a really big deal to me. So honestly, I can't thank you any other way. But I promise you a 2,000 subscriber special video. Thank you video is coming up because I feel like I owe you one for the 1,000 and 2,000, so I will definitely be on that. But moving to a more serious note, the Celtics and the Cavs had a season opener yesterday, and any NBA fan, almost every NBA fan, was probably watching the season opener as they do. And this might be one of the most hyped seasons ever for any NBA team. Any given team had a lot of changes put to them, and they want to see how they went. But the Celtics, I feel like, had a lot that went into it, and I feel like the Celtics had one of the most desirable season openers to see. And obviously the Cavs Celtics have a rivalry, so yeah, it's obvious that everybody wanted to see how that fits in, how Kyrie versus LeBron works out. But 5 minutes into the game, Gordon Hayward goes down with a brutal injury, and this is everywhere. But I just wanted to give my opinion into this. My prayers go out to Gordon Hayward and his family. I mean, outside of basketball, I really love all the support that the NBA community, all the players have given to him on Twitter, social media. Letting him know that their thoughts go out to him because it's just a game. And this is it's a form of entertainment. They're all entertainers, and they play basketball, but it's not a war. They play to entertain, and yeah, if you're a fan, you don't want to see guys get injured like this, even if it's your worst rival, even if it's the player you hate the most. End of the day, we're all humans, and we all got to take care of each other. So it was really good to see that, especially Kobe's comments. If you haven't read those, they were great. But as a Celtics fan watching it, it was tough. It really was tough to see what happened. But I'm glad we got back on our feet. We played a great game till the end, and we've got a young core and we got stuff to do, and that's what I'm talking about here. So Gordon's gonna be out. I've heard it all over the place. He could be out all season, or he could be out like 8 to 9 weeks. I personally feel like that injury was very bad, but I think there might be a way for him to come back from it. But because the season has just began. So it's not that it's mid-season or, not possible for him to come back, because it is a brutal injury. But, that was literally the first game. So I can, my possibility that I give, my prediction would be about like All-Star weekend. After All-Star weekend, I feel like maybe that's reasonable, if he is healthy and if he can come back. But nobody's forcing him to do anything for that matter. But what do the Celtics do next? They played a great game against the Cavs, but there is something they need to fill now, because obviously this hurts their chances a lot. And I've been telling everyone who's been talking to me about this that I personally feel that going down the line, I don't think this really kills our chances. But yeah, this does hurt us a lot in the playoffs. But as of regular season, I do feel like we're gonna be fine. I do think we're still gonna be number one, number two. And why do I think that is? Because just look at last year. The East got worse. That's a fact. But you add into the fact that Kyrie and Isaiah got traded for each other. Kyrie's basically Isaiah, if not better, and he has something to prove this year. And we do have a young core, but I feel like last year's players versus this year's players, even though this year's players are less experienced, we are better. But one thing we could do that I really like is sign Monte Ellis. And, we might have to release a player for that. We might have to take measures in terms of getting rid of somebody, trading somebody for a pick. I don't know. But, opening up a spot and giving Monte Ellis a contract because he's 31 years old. He's got the experience, he's played big games, and I really like his style. He's a scorer. He goes out there, he scores, and that's something we needed from Gordon anyway. So, I do like a lineup where we add in Monte Ellis because we have one of the youngest cores in the league that is this good. We have a very young team, but we're like the youngest contender team in the league. No other team that's a contender is as young on average as we are, so it wouldn't be bad to add a guy who's over 30 years old. And Monte Ellis has done his share of experience. He's played a lot. He's just, I don't know why, but nobody's really signing him. Obviously, because a little bit of a downfall in the last few years, but come to measures, I do think the Celtics could go to this. But before I talk any more about that, I want to talk about another rumor that came out. DeAndre Jordan to the Thunder. This I really do like this because DeAndre the thing was DeAndre getting traded to OKC for Steven Adams, and I like this because obviously OKC is trying to build themselves better and better, and they have robbed people this year, no doubt. Like they have consistently robbed like a bunch of teams this offseason by giving them, not bad players, but players that don't obviously match up to Carmelo and Paul George's talent. So, I believe that they have gotten the better of every deal, but this is a chance for the Clippers to maybe try to get something out of DeAndre. It's pretty evident that the West is going to be super strong this year. I mean, we saw the Rockets, if you haven't heard, beat the Warriors, even though Durant hit that buzzer beater and it didn't count. So yeah, the Rockets beat the Warriors, so that shows how strong the Rockets have gotten. And OKC's gonna be very strong. San Antonio is just a pillar that never falls. And along with that, Minnesota's on the rise, and other teams will be on the rise. So it might be better for LA because LA doesn't really have anything to look up to. They don't have any big draft picks. They don't have any young core players. They have Blake Griffin who re-signed, but that's it. So if I were them, I'd think about maybe trying to get rid of DeAndre Jordan. This is Jordan's probably like almost 30-ish. He's a solid center, but his ranking as a center is slowly decreasing, because guys like Joel Embiid, Hassan Whiteside, guys like that are on the rise, and you want to get rid of Jordan while he's still a solid center. So as much as you could look at maybe the Cavs, if you're in the Clippers, because they have that good pick from the Celtics, I'd honestly look at OKC because they can give you a guy like Steven Adams, which is it's great to give a little bit of a fight, but not not completely be out of it, but also get something else alongside that, and then kind of get some picks from OKC, maybe try a 3-team deal. I don't know, but I think this makes a lot of sense to me because it's clear that they're not going to be better. I don't even think they're better than Denver right now. So you put that into perspective, Portland might be better than them as well. So there's already a big list of teams that are better than them. It might just make the most sense to move forward and get rid of DeAndre Jordan because Blake Griffin's probably younger, and he, although he's been a little more injury prone, he's not as evidently bad in the shooting department as DeAndre is. And DeAndre, as much as he worked well with Chris Paul, it'll be harder to get him to put that many points down when Chris Paul's not there because there's no point guard that can really run DeAndre's style of play. They don't because DeAndre Jordan isn't really a shot creator for himself. He can't get buckets at the line. He's not like Karl Anthony Towns or Kristaps Porzingis or Al Horford or any center that can really score. Honestly, I think Hassan Whiteside's better than him at this point because Whiteside is younger and again, he's doing well in on Miami. Even though he's not a good free throw shooter, he could still knock down a mid range. So that's that's his pretty big deficiency. And why should OKC do this? Is they get an upgrade from Steven Adams. Pretty clear upgrade from Steven Adams, and alongside that, they're also they'll lose a few picks, they'll lose a few role players, something like that, obviously because DeAndre is so big. But getting a guy like DeAndre Jordan will be excellent for OKC because now you have four All-Stars. Basically, you have four All-Stars, and you can really compete with the Warriors now because the Warriors, now you have length over the Warriors. Now you have good defense because DeAndre brings great defense, and he's like a giant block machine. He can stand there. He's just a paint protector, which is very important to have going against a team like the Warriors, who can kind of split you up on defense. And having a guy like Westbrook, who's not afraid to play good defense, is good for a point guard. But also having a guy like DeAndre in the paint could be great. So I'm really curious to see what happens on that end. Whether they trade him to OKC, whether they look to some other team. But I do think this is the best time to get rid of DeAndre Jordan if you're OKC. But going back to the Celtics, they had a rough night yesterday, and this definitely hurts them a lot. But I was very happy to see what the young core did. Jaylen Brown dropped 25 points. I was very happy with his performance. Jason Tatum, who was compared to Larry Bird's opening night, that might be a stretch, but they did have similar numbers. I thought Tatum did excellent. He contributed the way he should have, and I think we really would have had that game had Hayward not go down. But we put up a good fight. We showed that not everything is lost, which is good. And last year we did have Avery Bradley, and we did have some more role players. But at this point, I feel kind of good about this. And if we can get a little bit of a timeline on where Gordon Hayward is, maybe we can come back from this and progress and still have a chance at that title. But if you look at Monte Ellis and his addition to the Celtics, if this does go through, this could be fantastic for both him and the Celtics team, because the Celtics now are looking for a guy who can come in and just score. Gerald Green is a great option for that. I'm pretty sure Tony Allen is still available. Terrence Jones is also a good option. But, really looking at, I think Richard Jefferson hasn't signed anywhere. He could be good, but Monte fits in my perspective. He brings in a good scoring aspect, and he's been down for a while, but the Celtics are kind of known for reviving a guy's career and utilizing him the right way. So if the Celtics can bring him in and Brad can fit him in the lineup the right way, even if it's not starting him, but having a solid bench player, I think this is perfect because guys like Gerald Green and Monte, they can score, but they're not getting recognition, and that's important to see in that aspect is, they're still open, and guys aren't going for that, so you might want to look at that as an option until Gordon can maybe come back, but prayers go out to him. Hopefully he's okay, and more news will come out with that since it was just last night, so there's a lot they can do with this, but hopefully in the end it's all good, and Gordon can come back. And honestly, this season was so hyped. I was super excited. The first 5 minutes were very, very thrilling and satisfying. It was like an all-star game back and forth until such an unfortunate play occurred, and I didn't even notice anything happen until the commentator said that he'd broken his leg, and it was an awful, tragic thing to happen. But we'll come back from this even stronger. Prayers out to Gordon, and hopefully we can come back from this still a title contender, and get Gordon back before the end of the year into the playoffs. So Monte Ellis seems like a great option for the Celtics, and DeAndre Jordan also seems like a great option for the OKC Thunder if they're willing to put in that much money and the effort to try to get him. So all the players, the draft picks, whatever the Clippers want, including Steven Adams, which will be a big part of that trade. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe if you're new. Um, yeah, thanks so much for 2,000. Promise of videos coming on the way. And I've been making a lot of NBA mixes and stuff. Check those out if you haven't. Check out my Young, Dumb, and Broke cover if you haven't seen that as well. And have a great day, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.